All right, let's switch gears and take a look at the big board and the markets on a day when new inflation numbers are out. The Dow currently down about 208 points. Now, this is following a big rally yesterday as the U.S. and China hit the pause button on their trade war. The consumer price index rose 0.2% in April, and it's up 2.3% over last year. Now, inflation cooled with grocery prices down, along with sharp drop in egg prices specifically. But economists are still keeping an eye on the potential increasing impact of tariffs in the months ahead. So let's bring in CBS News MoneyWatch correspondent Kelly O'Grady. Kelly, can you break down what these numbers tell us about the economy and the impact of tariffs?
So this is a good report, Liz. We have not seen an annual number, that 2.3% number that you just quoted, since February of 2021. So it has been a while. And this comes off of the last few months of inflation cooling. That still does mean that prices are rising overall, just at a slower rate. But as you mentioned, we actually got some price relief. We saw prices go down in the category that this report calls food at home. So basically think groceries. Eggs was one, fruits and vegetables another, some of the meats. It was a good report when it comes to those essentials that people need to buy on a daily basis. Shelter, though, that is where we saw some of that stickiness that has always been a very traditional source of inflation in these reports. When it comes to the impact of tariffs, you're seeing a little bit in this report. Remember, we did get some of the lower tariffs on China put on in February and March. That is trickling into some of these line items. I particularly called out vehicle parts. Where do most of your vehicle parts come from? China. That was up 2.2% versus that 0.2% monthly number you mentioned, so significantly higher. But the broader tariffs that we're worried about in terms of inflation spiking, that would be the 145% tariff on China that was recently reduced to 30%, the 10% broader tariff across the board for most nations around the world. You're likely not going to see that impact until the next few months because a lot of companies stockpiled. So headline, good inflation report. The question is what's coming.
Right. And speaking of what's coming, I mean, the Fed has kept interest rates steady, much to the frustration of the president, the very vocal frustration. Could today's numbers or good report, could that change that?
So fast or rewind maybe a year ago, 1,000%. This would be a sort of green light for the Fed because the labor market has remained healthy, but inflation has been coming down month after month. But again, there is this concern that the tariffs could cause a spike in prices pretty quickly, and the Fed does not want to preemptively cut rates and infuse sort of spending into the economy at a time when you could see inflation cause prices to tick up quite rapidly, tariffs to cause prices to tick up quite rapidly. So they're likely going to hold.
Another headline I know you're following for us, Kelly, is United Healthcare CEO is stepping down and the company is actually suspending its 2025 forecast. How significant is this for the company after the murder of Brian Thompson?
Well, it's sort of more bad news, especially on that forecast front. The stock is really getting ravaged in the market right now. And it's mainly, though, because the company did not bake in the increase in Medicare costs, which, if you think about it, there were a lot of surgeries, a lot of procedures that weren't life-threatening, but they were need to have that were put off during COVID. You're seeing a lot of folks in that elderly bracket get hip replacements, knee replacements. So there's a backlog that's causing this increase in Medicare costs. And then on the CEO front, we do know that he's stepping down for personal reasons. It's always tough when a big public company goes through a leadership change. But from a continuity perspective, a previous CEO is stepping in to fill that role.
All right, Kelly O'Grady, thank you so much.